placing her hands on the keys. She played only 2 notes before her dad interrupted. Interrupted. Betsy don't you need this? Okay. Dad asked, holding up a musical book. Betsy smiled and shook her head. Dad looked confused, but Betsy only sat down up straight. She started playing again, but this time Betsy closed her eyes and as her fingers flew across the keys. It was as if she had played the song 1,000 times before. When Betsy was finished, she opened her eyes. Dad started clapping his eyes. Why? That song sounded exactly how I remembered it, he said. When did you learn to do that? Why doesn't Betsy use the musical book? Betsy makes up the song on her own. Betsy loses her glasses so she can see the book. Betsy sees that Dad has the wrong book. Betsy remembers all the notes of the song.
Okay, which one?
This one. This one.
Yeah.
Summit.
Yeah. Okay.
Betsy said
Slide. What's that?
Side.
What's that?
Hose.
Gross. Gross. Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross. Slide. Slide. Slide.
What's this?
Side.
Betty slide
Onto the piano bench.
Slid.
I say the past tense slid.
Slid.
Okay. Betty slid
And onto the piano bench, placing her hands on the keys. She played only 2 notes before her dad
interrupted. Okay, interrupt. Okay, so someone is talking. Interrupt just talking while someone is talking. Okay, interrupt. Or they say so focusing on the work that those people try to interrupt her. Okay. What's that?
Slide. 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 Slid. 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 Slid.
Oh, sorry.
Interrupt. Interrupt. Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Okay, can spell it.
INTERRUPT. Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Okay, spell it.
INTERRUPT. Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Stop. Break.
Okay. Interrupted.
The
Speaker.
speaker.
The person who is speaking. Interrupted the speaker.
Interrupted the speaker with
Frequent
quiet
questions.
questions.
Interrupted the speaker with questions.
Interrupted the speaker with questions.
Okay. Cut in, yes.
Cut in.
Okay. Cut in, I'm sorry. Okay. She played only 2 notes before her dad interrupted.
Interrupted. Betsy didn't. Don't you need this? Dad asked, holding up a music book. Betsy smiled and shook her head. Dad looked confused, but Betsy only sat up straighter. She started playing again, but this time Betsy closed her eyes as her fingers flew across the keys. It was as if she had played the song 1,000 times before. When Betsy was finished, she opened her eyes. Dad started clapping, his eyes wide. That song sounded exactly how I remember it, he said. When did you learn to do that? Complete the sentence to support the inference. You can guess what that. Betsy remembers all the notes of the song because she tells that she doesn't need the book. And closes closes her eyes as she plays. She tells Dad to listen until the end evening, though she makes many mistakes throughout. She tells Dad that the song is very short and there are only 2 notes to play. She tells Dad that she made the song up on her own and wants to surprise him.
Which one?
She tells Dad she doesn't need the book. Her
Closes.
closes her eyes as she plays.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
quiet summit.
Okay. Good. Oh, we're done.
Swallow. Swallow. Swallow.
Make a prediction about her story. Okay. Watch this one.
Let's read the story together. As we read, try to imagine what might happen next. Diego stared at the blank canvas. He always felt nervous whenever there was a white sheet of paper before him. But then he would draw something, and that would make the feeling go away. But this time was different. This time, he had to paint a picture that would stay up on the public library's wall forever, displayed for all time for everyone to see. Yeah, no pressure, Diego. He picked up his paintbrush. It's no different than a sheet of paper, he said to himself. What do you think might happen next? Well, because Diego picks up his brush and tries to calm himself down, we can guess that he's going to overcome his nerves and paint the picture for the wall. When you make a guess like this about what will happen next, it's called making a prediction. We make predictions based on what's happening in the story and what the characters are thinking, saying, feeling, and doing. For example, in this story, if Diego behaved differently, it might lead us to a different prediction. What if the last paragraph said this instead? He closed his eyes and shook his head. Wiping sweat from his brow, he pushed the canvas and the brushes away. How does this change our prediction? Well, based on Diego's actions here, it seems like he might let his nerves get the better of him, doesn't it? Because he pushes the painting materials away. We might predict that Diego will decide not to complete the painting because he's too nervous. Let's try making predictions with another story. It was low tide. The beach was firm beneath Penelope's feet where the waves washed onto the shore. She ran as fast as she could across the flat, wet sand until she reached the mysterious cove in the distance. Huge boulders surrounded an inlet like giants standing in a semicircle. The boulders loomed over her, tall and threatening, but she pushed forward and slid between 2 of them. She gasped. There in the cove was an old shipwreck half buried in the sand. This could be the discovery of a lifetime, Penelope thought. There could be treasure. She scanned the route between herself and the wreck. It was a dangerous path over slippery, jagged rocks. Her heart raced. What do you think might happen next? Well, if you look at the last line, we see that Penelope's heart was racing. A racing heart could suggest a few different things: fear, excitement, or even just that Penelope's